Hi, it's Paul. A little bit of a quandary for me today as I'm trying to find whether I should upgrade my irons or keep my existing set that I really like. So I've narrowed it down to 3 different models, one of them being my current set, which is the Paradym, which will now be my 3rd year of playing these if I play them this year. And as a disclaimer, they are by far the best iron that I've ever played in my life ever up to now. By far. I have absolutely nothing but love for these irons. They do everything I want. But a couple of new things have come out, so I want to see if there's a benefit to me to changing over things. Is there any little tweak that I can gain? So here's the 3 models we're looking at. This is my current Paradym. Once again, these are now going to be my 3rd year. I love them. Can't say anything bad about these at all. They're just fantastic. The next set that I want to look at is the Callaway Apex Pro. Now these are a little bit different than mine because they're a little bit higher lofted, a little tiny bit of a smaller head, but once again a really nice profile, but the change in loft could mean a little bit of a difference, good or bad. So we're going to test these out. And then the ones that I've hit a couple of times and I really like, it's the Callaway Apex AI 200. Now these are a little bit kind of in the middle of loft. So my Paradym are 29 degrees of loft for a 7-iron. These are 30, and the Apex Pro is 34, so there's a significant difference. So I want to weigh it all out and see what's the benefit or what's the detriment of switching. Do I gain more height and spin but lose a little bit of distance because of the higher loft, or do I retain a nice mixture of everything? So I've spent a bit of time on this. I wanted to make sure that everything works out well. I have the same shaft, I have the same grip, I have the same length, I have the same lie. All of these are identical. The only thing that's changing is the head. So I'm going to hit 4 or 5 shots with each one, look at the data, kind of see where the benefits are of each individual club, and then weigh out what's best for me overall. Stay tuned. So for this test, I'm using the Callaway Chrome Tour, which is the ball I use. So it should be the club and the ball that I will use when I'm playing. I want to look at distance, I want to look at dispersion, I want to look at front to back dispersion. When I mishit something, what do I lose? And I want to look at the height and the spin and the stopping power for all of them. If one is much longer, then we'll deal with that. I'll talk about it after. All right, Callaway Paradym. This is my current set, one that I absolutely love. And I'll just call out the numbers a little bit as I hit, and then we'll look at them all collectively at the end of it. So that's a 183 carry, 3,900 backspin. So I hit that one out on the toe, and I lost a little bit of spin, I lost a little bit of power, and it's 88 feet high. These are all 7-irons. Okay, it's another nice shot. It's a 184 carry. 4,700 spin, a little bit better. I don't expect to see 7,000 spin on any of these because that's not the way I hit balls. I don't hit a lot of spin. Okay, 185 carry. .183 carry. So I'm 183, 183, 184 carry with this one. It's coming in at 100 feet high. Spin is 4,700. They're online, and this is why I've loved this one so much. It just does everything for me. .185 carry, 4,000 spin, just a little bit offline. So for this, I'm hitting the ball roughly about probably 90, 95 feet high. It's a 183 carry right on the button. That's that one. Let's move into the AI 200. 1 degree of loft more, new technology, same shaft, same grip, same length, same lie angle. So visually, this one is very similar looking to my Paradym. The only change is it's a little tiny bit more offset, and I'm not sure how that's going to work for me. I tend to turn the ball over normally to the left, so the offset may hinder and produce a little bit more left than I want. But let's find out. It's very, very similar looking. It feels the same, looks the same, feels the same in my hands. Callaway Apex AI 200. Nice high draw. Okay, nice high draw. That's 105 feet high with 5,500 spins. So that's on the upper deck of what my Paradym was doing. The Paradym doesn't hit it as high. It's a 175 carry. Really hit that pure. That's a 188 carry. Little tiny bit left, and this is where I think the offset may kind of just be a little bit too much for me, but we'll find out. 4,900 spin, 110 feet high, so that's really nice. That's great stopping power. I like it. Another nice high one, 103 feet high, 186 carry. So this one is able to produce the same kind of distance, and it should, because they're only 1 degree of loft difference, and it's got some newer technology in it. Probably a little bit more forgiving. So the height on these is really nice. It's 105 feet. It's a 183 carry, so I'm getting the same carry on the well-hit strikes that I did with my Paradym, but it's coming in a little bit higher, and generally it's a little bit higher spin. And that would be the major difference between this and the Paradym. A little bit higher, might be possible able to attack some pins from farther out. Beauty. Absolutely love this one. 180 carry, 110 feet high, 5,300 RPMs, finishing 1 yard offline. Let's try 1 or 2 more and then move into the one that I'm going to have the biggest difference with. So this is the Apex AI 200. Wow, love it. 184 carry. So I've got a 184 carry, 5,100 RPMs, came in at 117 feet. So just fantastic, good high ball flight, stopping on a dime, coming down. So it's a 184 carry, a 187 total. So it's stopping within 3 yards. So 9 feet. I'm going to take that all day long. Apex AI 200, last one. Then we move into the Pro one. Little tiny bit of a pull, little tiny bit, 183 carry. So 183, 184, 182. I'm in the 5,000 range of RPM, which is really nice. I'm not going to get to 7. So that's the Apex AI 200. Now let's move into the Apex Pro, which is a weaker loft. We're going from 30 degrees to 34. We're probably going to see a higher ball flight. We're going to see a little bit higher RPM. We may see some distance loss, but we have to factor that into the giant scheme of things. Now, initial putting it behind the ball and looking at it, I absolutely love the profile. There's very small amount of offset, very, very small, which is great for someone who turns the ball left, because you can see on my last shot, I really had a great swing. It was a nice ball flight, 183 carry, high, but it pulled a little bit left, and that's what I tend to see with the AI 200 for me. And you have to keep in mind, the reason that there's different models is because people swing different. Me hitting the AI 200 left doesn't mean that other people hit it left. It's just that that's me. That's why we're experimenting with things. And it really wasn't that far left. All those were good shots. But when I look down at this, I see a noticeable loft change. It's gone from 30 to 34. So this is a full club weaker. And let's see what happens. So we've been averaging about a 183 carry. We should lose some ball speed here. We should lose some distance. But let's see if we can gain it back on something else. Very nice, very high. 174 carry. I thought I hit that one perfect, so it looks like I might be 10 yards shorter on the other clubs. 5,700 RPMs. That's where we may make it up. But I'm going to talk about that later because it's not as simple as just looking at I've lost distance and I've gained spin. I'll tell you what, this one feels so incredibly nice. So there's a 168 carry, and I felt that I absolutely just pured that. So do I want to give up, you know, from 168 to 183? Well, we'll have to see what happens. Incredibly nice, piercing, high ball flight. So it's a 173, so I'm definitely a club shorter, and that's what we would expect to see with loft. I'm not any higher. The backspin is a little bit more, about 1,000 RPMs more. So I'm getting closer to 6,000. My stopping distance really is not much different. So while I love the feel of this, I'm giving up a club with no real positive benefit out the other side. .166, and this is what happens when you start going to a smaller pro design club, is that your mishits, you just don't get away with them as good as you do with the other ones. And I have lots of mishits. I'm just a normal golfer. I'm going to have lots of mishits. Let's try a couple more here. Nice high draw. 174. So I can't get anywhere near that 183 carry. Now, let's just talk about the whole loft thing. People will say, well, you know, you're just delofting, so you would expect to lose distance. Part of that is true, but the other part of it is if I'm 10 and 12 and 13 yards longer with my other club, then I would not be hitting a 7 in my other club to match the distance of this shorter Apex Pro. I would be hitting an 8 in my Paradym and an 8 in the AI 200 to replicate 10 yards less. So then I'm going to have higher spin again, I'm going to have a higher ball flight again, and then that is apples to apples. So just changing the loft is not the end of the equation. We have to look at the ball flight, we have to look at the distance. So if it takes me a 7 to get 174, and it takes me a 7 to get 183, see, there's 162, and I can't mishit my other ones and have them drop down to 162. They didn't fall down that far. So for me, my concern with this one would be when I'm mishitting, I'm going to be well short of the greens. When I mishit the other one, I'm still kind of getting there. It's just not everything that I wanted. I absolutely love the feel of this. I just don't know if I want to give up 12 or 13 yards on a good hit and possibly 18 or so on a bad hit. Now that's the best one I've hit with this. It's 176, so still putting me shorter. And it's not all about distance, but it's about distance consistency. And with the other two, the consistency was the same all the time. If I would give up 8 or 9 yards with this and keep the same consistency so that all my shots flew 174, 174, 173, 172, and I got higher spin and a higher ball flight, I would consider making the swap. But I'm not able to, I don't have the game to play something like this, even though I absolutely love the feel of it. I love the look of it. It's just that there's not enough forgiveness in it for me. See, there's 169, and I feel with the other two clubs that I hit, that's a 180 shot. So it's 10 yards. I'm not gaining any more stopping power. Those two give me more forgiveness and more distance. And I don't like making changes just for the sake of making changes. I like making changes when it works. I've got clubs in my bag that have been there for 25 years, such as a putter. I don't change my irons very often, even though I have the ability, being in the industry, to change them every year. I don't, because if something works, I like to keep it there. It's kind of like hockey equipment, you know? When you're young and you're starting off, everybody wants new equipment all the time. And then as you get older and play, you're hoping that those old ratty shoulder pads never ever wear out because you don't ever want to replace them. All right, let's take a look at a summary of numbers. So carry distance with the three clubs: Paradym 184, AI 200 183, Apex Pro 170. I'm giving up carry distance there. Total distance 190, 186, and 174. So with the Paradym, I'm rolling out 6 yards. With the AI 200, I'm rolling out 3 yards. And with the Apex Pro, I'm rolling out 4 yards. So while the Pro may seem to be the club that's going to hit it the highest and stop it quicker, it doesn't do that compared to the AI 200. The rollout proportion is the same, but I'm carrying it farther with the 200. So it's going farther and stopping in the same distance as the shorter club. So right off the bat, that tells me that a loss in distance in the Apex Pro is not something I can live with. So backspin with the Paradym 4300, and this is about normal for the Paradym irons. We're going to see low spin. With the AI 200, I've got 5100, and with the Apex Pro, I've got 5900. And people go, yeah, but that higher spin with the Pro, that's really what you're looking for. But it didn't do anything for me. It cost me distance, and it did not increase the stopping power. So the higher spin really didn't do anything. So where did everything come from? Well, if we look at the peak height, we have Apex at 94, we have AI 200 at 108, and we have the Apex Pro at 100. And if you look at the overall height between the AI 200 and the Apex Pro, well, the Apex Pro was 3 degrees weaker, which meant that it was 33 degree loft versus 30. So you think it would hit it higher, but as I explained earlier, ball speed has a huge factor on height. We need velocity to project a ball upwards against gravity. And because the ball speed with the AI 200 was significantly higher than the Apex Pro, we can achieve more height. And that height means that we can come in steep and stop even with less spin. And then we look at the offline. The offline between the three of them was insignificant. 6 yards offline with the Paradym, 4 yards offline with the AI 200, and 5 yards with the Apex Pro. So if I looked at them and I said, okay, from the Apex Pro to the AI 200 to the Paradym, we have a difference of 2 yards from longest to shortest offline. That's not enough for me to give up 14, 15 yards of carry. The club head speed was the same, 88, 88, and 88, and the smash factors with the Paradym and the AI 200 were 139, 139. The smash factor drops off with the Pro because while we kept the same club head speed, we couldn't achieve the same ball speed. So in summary, if I did not have clubs now and I was looking at these, the Pro is ruled out. I would take the AI 200 over the Paradym because the numbers are a little bit better. But now that I already have the Paradyms in my bag, is that significant enough to change out? Well, I think it might be, but I'm going to do a couple of other tests in another video, and I'm going to see if I can flight them. I'm going to see if I can change trajectories, hit higher, hit lower, hit knockdowns, hit cuts, hit draws, things that I can do with my own irons. I want to make sure that I can do them with the AI 200. But right now, the AI 200 is the front runner. That'll be my review. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the bottom. Also, feel free to hit the notification bell, the subscribe button. There's lots of great content. It's free. Hopefully you'll find something that helps you. and you'll play better golf. Thanks again for watching. I'm Paul Kelly.